Hello everyone, and welcome back to DET Coach's Beginner's Guide to the Duolingo English Test. In the previous lesson, we used the same template to describe natural landscapes and practiced moving from the foreground through the middle ground to the background. In this lesson, we'll continue using the template, focusing on urban, architectural, and transportation scenes. These images often contain a lot of visual information. First, identify the main building, road, or vehicle. Then add entrances, routes, signs, lighting, and human activity. For an urban image, identify the main structure or vehicle in the first sentence. Then place the buildings, roads, and human activity in the later slots. When many buildings are visible, you do not need to list them one by one. Identify the main focal point first, then explain how the road, platform, or pedestrian route extends into the distance. An indoor station has no visible sky, so use the ceiling, lighting, columns, and repeated lines to establish depth. The first group of phrases identifies the main structure in an urban image. A station platform, a covered walkway, a glass-fronted building, and a busy intersection cover common settings such as stations, streets, and commercial areas. If you do not know the exact purpose of a building, begin with a building, an entrance, or a public space, then add its appearance and position. For architectural details, begin with brick walls, a concrete facade, large glass panels, and tiled flooring. For example, a glass-fronted building with a broad entrance occupies the center of the frame. Use structural phrases to establish the overall scene first, then add only the 2 or 3 most prominent materials or surface details. Do not begin by describing every window one by one. When a vehicle is visible, first identify where it is, then describe whether it is moving or stopped and how it relates to the road or platform. A train pulling into the station, vehicles moving along the road, and passengers waiting near the platform edge are phrases you can use directly. When people are not the main subjects, one sentence about their activity is enough, such as pedestrians are crossing or people are entering and leaving. Spatial relationships determine whether the description is clear. Common expressions include, the road runs parallel to the railway tracks, the path leads directly toward the entrance, the platform recedes into the distance, and the main building occupies the center of the frame. For example, the platform recedes into the distance, while repeated columns line one side of the track. When one object blocks another, you can say a vehicle is partly hidden behind a column. Describe only the visible relationship. There is no need to guess where the vehicle came from. Signs and facilities add information about the function of the setting. Overhead signs, traffic signals, platform markings, and a clearly marked entrance are all widely useful. If you can clearly identify the function of a sign, you can say that it indicates a platform, entrance, or traffic direction. If the text is not legible, do not guess the station, transit line, or city name. For an indoor image without a visible sky, use illuminated by overhead lights and reflections in the windows to describe the lighting. Repeated columns, ceiling lights, or platform edges can establish depth. You can say repeating columns create depth, or the platform recedes into the distance. Finally, choose an overall impression based on how people move through the space, as well as the routes and facilities. If a station is operating in an orderly way, you can say busy but orderly or spacious and functional. Leave room for uncertainty when inferring the setting. You can say the scene appears to be a transport hub, but the exact location cannot be confirmed. Now look at the classroom image in the lesson materials and fill the general template with phrases from the Urban and Transportation Vocabulary Bank. During your 20 seconds of preparation time, you can first note a train, an indoor station, a yellow safety edge, passengers waiting, and overhead signs. The train moves along the platform, while passengers wait nearby, and the signs, lights, and columns continue into the distance. This gives the description a clear route through the image. Now listen to the complete model response from the lesson materials. This image mainly shows a train moving through a large indoor station. In the foreground, a tiled platform runs beside a yellow safety edge, while the train travels along the track. Looking more closely, the motion blur along the train suggests that it has not yet stopped. Farther back, passengers wait beneath overhead signs and lights, while repeated columns create depth. One detail that stands out is the contrast between the dark train and the yellow platform marking. Based on the tracks, passengers, and signs, the scene appears to be a busy public transport stop, although the exact location is difficult to confirm. Overall, the station looks functional and orderly, with steady activity in the background. This response first identifies the train and station, then follows the platform to add the passengers, signs, lights, and columns. Finally, it uses visible clues to infer the type of setting and describe its overall character. This completes our 4 topic-specific vocabulary banks: people, objects and indoor scenes, natural landscapes, and cities, architecture, and transportation. For a more comprehensive list of topic-specific phrases and vocabulary, read the corresponding lesson on the DET Coach website. I'll see you in the next lesson.